banks have a kind of love-hate relationship with the recession story because they know they need to know about it, and there's big stuff happening, isn't there? Interest rates are moving, currency, things are very, very volatile, so you've got to know about the information. On the other hand, it kind of gets people down, probably a bit like you, doesn't it? You kind of every day you read a new headline which is, it's even worse than it was yesterday, and you think, oh, as a reader, I'm not sure I want you to turn over the page. So the challenge for any media group right now is to get the balance right between telling the truth, and if it's bad, you've got to tell your readers and users it's bad. You should know this is really bad right now, and at the same time making sure there's the right balance of stuff either on your website or your video offering or your newspaper that makes people think, I'm not going to jump out of the window, it's still worth living. And that's the toughest thing right now. I presume that most people think that it's wrong to pay any bonuses at all, and it's our money and therefore it shouldn't be used to pay bonuses. I probably differ from that. I think there's probably a slightly more sophisticated approach to how you incentivize people. Is it right that someone who's owed or should have got £10 million bonus to get that? Of course that's not right, but those are kind of extreme and one or two people over here. But if you're a hard-working person on £25,000 a year and you were due your 2-3 grand bonus because you've had a really important, good year working in accounts or something, is it right that because people elsewhere in the bank screwed things up, you don't get your money? Well, I'm kind of think it's right, those people should get their money. It's not a very popular thing to say, but I kind of think that if you owed it, you should be paid it. It's a bit of a problem as well because a lot of focus has been on the whole bonus thing, when actually there are much more important issues to do with the banks as to whether they actually operate and whether they function, what sort of banking system we want. The bonus thing has become a slight kind of red herring, actually, as to helping us to avoid the big issues about the banks. But if you ask me directly, do I think that all bonuses shouldn't be paid? No, I don't think that's right. I think that they should pay out to people who have earned it and weren't connected to the bad decisions that helped bring the banks to their knees. So now 100% mortgages, yeah, it probably is right to calm it down a bit. I mean, the Northern Rock, I think you could get as much as 110, 115% mortgages. It was a nonsense at the time, it's a nonsense now. So it probably is right that you probably shouldn't be able to borrow more than the value of the thing that you're actually putting down as collateral. It will that bit will make it more difficult for first-time buyers, but don't forget, of course, the value of property is coming down quite rapidly in certain parts of the country, and as long as it's possible to get a mortgage, then that should help balance it out. But I can't pretend it's anything other than tough for first-time buyers. The only thing I would say is it's always been tough. I was once a first-time buyer, and it was blooming tough to scramble together enough money from here and everywhere to try and get a mortgage. I don't think it's going to be any different from that, but it is very tough. We have written lots and lots about, try to warn about the trend towards protectionism. I mean, one of the great dangers of this period is that countries sort of retreat back into their own little worlds and stop lending, for example. So take Eastern Europe, for example. One of the consequences of Royal Bank of Scotland coming back home and retrenching is that there's less money to be lent to people in Eastern Europe. That means that places like Latvia, Poland, these countries are in severe trouble as a result of what is a practical example of protectionism, of people thinking about themselves as opposed to their own countries, as opposed to the broader global environment. So it's a very dangerous time in that respect. The early utterances from Obama are not good. There's a lot of negative stuff coming about free trade, or at least not a lot of positive stuff. So we're very encouraging of Brown as much as he can to sing the praises and push the free trade agenda.